transition. That off. And let's pause the music because I don't need to be listening to it. And I think we are live. I think
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know what delay you're watching, Will. But
I'm not watching anything. I just don't think we're live.
Oh, I see. Well, on my screen, we are live. And I am going to just make this window a little smaller. It's still weird doing these podcasts live because there's a lot more micromanaging that I have to do. But let me just do a couple more things and we will be ready. Also, why is my display brightness so bright? Let's turn that down. And I'm just checking my own feed, making sure it's good. Got to watch this Overwatch ad.
Ooh, Mr. Drew says that I am lagged, but I think he might just be saying that I look tired.
You look a little laggy. Let me check your video. It could just be the video service we're using. Yeah, I only have you uncropped. I was lagging that one time, and then it got better over time. So we'll roll with it here. Hi guys. We'll just start in like 10 seconds. I'm just making sure everything is working. That looks to be good. That looks to be good. Okay. What episode is this? 217?
I believe so.
I think so too. What is up, everyone? Welcome to the 217th episode of the Pokemon Podcast. I am your host, SBJ, and next to me is Will.
Well, I don't know which side I'm on.
You are on my microphone side, I guess. That would be my left.
That doesn't help.
Left side.
Wait. So do I look to the right? Am I talking to you now?
Yes. You are looking to the right direction. The right
Excellent
direction. Okay.
I have secrets to reveal when we're allowed to talk about Pokemon.
Oh, yes, yeah, when we're allowed to talk about Pokemon. Logan was supposed to be with us tonight, but he had some work stuff, so no Logan. Instead, I didn't get to make a graphic for two people, so I put Farfetch in Logan's place if you're watching this live. I will say that we're recording this live on Twitch on Thursday night. A little bit different, though. This is our third week. We've been doing the live podcast on Twitch. I don't know if it's going to be a normal thing. Well, the only reason I say that is because I want to make sure that first and foremost, the podcast, the audio version of the podcast sounds the best and is like the best way to listen to it because obviously we're the Pokemon Podcast, like that's what we do. But the video version, like doing it live, is great just because you guys get it early and you get a little more interaction. But I don't want to push too far to tune out any podcast listeners. So that kind of leads into my second point of we won't be doing that much chat interaction. And the reason I say that is because I wouldn't if we had a full staff of like Logan, Travis, Will, and myself on, and we're talking and we're making points and other people are reading chat, they're either like not listening or they can't partake fully in the conversation we're having. And so the chat can just be distracting, and that's not, it's both good and bad. Like it's good because we could get quick answers. We could be like, I don't know what barrier does compared to light screen. And then chat could answer that, of course, or chat could ask questions, but I have chat up right now so I can see you guys, but like if Will's talking and making a point, I don't want to be reading chat because now I'm not giving him my utmost attention.
Oh, you never listen to me anyways.
That's that's true.
It's very true.
But
well, you know, the video watchers get to see my sweet tats.
And they get to see the third week
listeners will never see my sweet tats.
The third week of Glove Window.
We're still on Glove Window. Yup.
Good. Glove Window watch is still there. So we don't want to take away from the podcast version. In the future, we might interact more with chat and do more things. But as of right now, we're just think of this as the normal episode of the podcast, except you can see us. And Again, we'll probably do more things in the future, but this is just to kind of kill two birds with one stone here. Before we get into Pokemon stuff, because we're not allowed to talk about Pokemon for the first couple minutes, which is funny because I've gotten comments that people like love that, and then also people don't like it. But I mean, you can skip forward if you don't like it. But I think it keeps us on topic more once we dive into things. Will, you had Travis visiting you this week.
Yes, Tuesday.
They got to sit in front of the glove window.
Yes. The Travis W was performing his Dungeons and Dragonites requirements from my home on Tuesday, right in front of glove window. It was a featured character as this place becomes more like a dungeon every day. I have not seen natural sunlight in my home for about 4 weeks.
Did you say why you have glove window?
No, I've never explained the glove window. Does it really require an explanation?
No. I feel like if you explained it, we wouldn't be as excited to see
it. Would certainly remove the magic.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely magic behind you, no doubt about it. Travis can't be with us because he's still in DC. They're still in DC, and I don't know when Travis is going back to Michigan, but
Travis is going back to Michigan tomorrow.
Okay.
But then he's going to a sweet music festival for the whole weekend.
He is?
Yeah.
What music festival?
Oh, wow. They told me, and it made me think of cows.
That's the Midwest
in
for you.
Ohio. Yeah, it's in Ohio, and it's like metal. Kind of metal type thing, because he's into the metal music.
Yeah, sure. No, I know. All right. Anything new with you before we move on?
I am applying for 2 jobs a day. Oh man, it's so hard pumping out those resumes. But my requirement is I have to apply for 2 new jobs every day. So been working real hard on that.
Something has to fix that glove window.
And that other podcast that I do that you don't do, that takes up a lot of my time.
How is it now being on the other end of like post-production?
So when Travis was here, I was actually editing Drive Check while you guys were doing Dungeons and Dragonites. And what I've discovered is, like, if I'm really, really tired, that's the best time for me to do editing, because, like, I can be listening to the track and I, like, kind of fall asleep a little bit. And then if there's something wrong with the audio, that wakes me up. Like, if there's a long pause, I wake up from being, like, having fallen asleep. And then I know that I have to go and edit out that long pause. Or if there's a weird noise, that will wake me up, too. So I, like, fell asleep, like, 8 times while Travis was... here. I'm sure that's not how you do it.
No, not at all.
I wish I understood what the little, like, because in we both use Reaper, Reaper 64 to do the audio editing, and it has all those plugins for manipulating the waveforms and everything. And I wish I knew what they did. Because, you put them in and you insert them and then they give you like a graph and it's real cool. But boy, what that's trying to tell me, I have no idea.
Not savvy enough to understand the Reaper.
Well, how did you teach yourself the Reaper? Don't forget the Reaper, man.
I guess I just kept using it. I don't know Reaper that well either. Like, I like learn things every time I do it, but I have a couple keyboard shortcuts I use, and then the grouping thing that I use, and then I have 2 presets for the shows now I should say shows, because I do 3 shows now, and it takes a lot of my time. Which is
so.
Yeah, go ahead.
When you say there's like this much of silence that you need to cut out, like just say that Travis is on an episode and he does that thing where he like does 3 seconds between every word.
Yes. Our listeners don't know, but Travis pauses a lot during his And during their elaboration points.
Yes, that is how Travis figures out what he's there trying to say. Anyways, do you select that area on both tracks and then use cut, or how do you remove the silence?
If it's more than like 2 or 3 seconds, I will usually cut, which is different than slicing.
Yeah.
And I think cut is Command Shift X,
Yes.
and I made a keyboard shortcut that it's just X.
Oh.
Because I don't know what X was, and maybe X was an important tool, but I never used it. So I made a keyboard shortcut that cutting was X, and then slicing was S. So X and S are right above each other, or right next to each other. So then I can quickly, with 2 fingers, just go between the two. So if it's just like a quick pause, or if it's an I'll usually cut because that's 2 slices. I'll cut, delete, I'll cut, and then move. If it's just like a 1 second break, I'll just slice and push.
Slice? Wait, do you slice, delete, input? How do you?
If I'm removing something, it's always a cut. So if it's an or anything like that, it's always a cut. If it's just a blank silence, that's just a slice and then merge together.
I'll have to practice my slicing because I think you can heal a slice, but you can't. You can't heal a cut.
Yeah, slice will kind of naturalize itself out, so it flows a little bit better, but yeah.
This is Reaper Tech Talk, with the Pokemon podcast crew.
Get your for $19 a month on Patreon. SBJ will spend 30 minutes with you and talk to you about podcasting techniques or podcasting tips.
And all the technologies that you need to invest in.
No, seriously, that's seriously a Patreon thing. If $20 a month, I'll spend 30 minutes with you and just talk to you. Or if you want podcasting advice, if you're starting your own show, I'm more than willing to help. That being said, I run 3 podcasts. I run Dungeons and Dragon Nights, which is wrapping up. By the time you listen to this episode, the final episode of Dungeons and Dragon Nights will be on May 24th, if I'm not mistaken. Tuesday, May 24th, 7 p.m. It'll probably be about a little bit longer than a 2-hour show. Season wrap-up. It'll be very exciting. So if you're not caught up with Dungeons and Dragon Nights, I would recommend doing that. We will be doing a season 2, but not right away. I don't know when that's coming. I should know, but I don't. I have not thought that far ahead.
Wait for the fall. Do like a summer break. Do reruns like we used to do in the 80s of the entire first season of Dungeons and Dragon Nights, and then come back in the fall with your new season. It'll be sweet.
I just don't want to lose the iTunes ranking because Dungeons and Dragon Nights does so well in the other game section of iTunes. The other podcast I want to talk about real quick before we move into Sun and Moon Talk is that I run a board gaming podcast called the Tuesday Night Podcast, which is actually the two guys who made a game called Two Rooms and a Boom. Their company is Tuesday Night Games. That's where the podcast name came from. But they're really great guys. They're launching a new Kickstarter for their new game, which is called World Championship Russian Roulette. And Will and I both played World Championship Russian Roulette, and the Kickstarter launches on Tuesday, May 24th. And they didn't ask me to do this, and I don't even think they listened to the show. But I am going to pimp their Kickstarter because World Championship Russian Roulette is a really awesome push your luck game, and it's going to be on Kickstarter. And those two guys are great guys. The Tuesday Night Games is kind of like their side gig. Like they both have jobs and everything.
Are you sure that Sean has a job?
I think Sean's Sean is like a Micah. They're both like deep into freelancing, I believe.
Yeah.
Deep into that freelancing game. And so that's one of the reasons why we've switched to this live podcast on Thursday nights, because I've been so busy doing freelance work for them. I actually help them with their new website that most of my weekends have gone to that, because I also have a full-time job. And so I will probably pimp that again. But yeah, World Championship Russian Roulette. It's like a push your luck board game. It's really easy. It's really cool. It's on Kickstarter, coming soon. That being said, how long have we been talking? About 15 minutes. Perfect. Pokemon.
Wait, I wanted to say something about World Championship Russian Roulette.
Oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Like I don't like bluffing games. You know I don't like bluffing games, but it's like a mix of a bluffing game and there's some randomness to it. Obviously, it's the bullet in the chamber of the 6 chambers of the revolver.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of makes it enjoyable for me, even though it is a kind of a bluffing betting game. And I really, really liked it. And also I won when we played.
Yeah.
So I always like winning.
Nothing wrong with winning. Speaking of winning, there was some TCG, VGC, and Pokken tournaments that happened. I didn't watch any of them. I believe the European one happened, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, Germany's coming up this weekend. It was UK and Ireland that were the past.
Okay.
It was the UK and Ireland national championships.
So, a bit of news here is that the 2016 Pokemon European National Championships, a shiny Machamp based on Mark McQuillan's shiny Machamp, will be distributed to anyone in the Liverpool. Anyone attending events in Liverpool, Castle, Asiago.
Where are you? What?
A-S-S,
how is it spelled?
Bad word. ASSAGO. I like how it's
Asiago.
Asiago. I like how it's super effective is me spelling things now. We have come from episode 1 of me making up words and butchering words to now episode 200 and something where I'm spelling out things. This is podcasting at its finest. So if you attend any of those 3 events between May 14th and June 12th, you'll be able to receive the shiny Machamp. And Mark McQuillan was the 2015 Video Game Senior Division World Champion. His Machamp was one of the Pokemon he used. And I believe those tournaments were streamed on Twitch, and they will continue to be streamed on Twitch if you care to watch.
Yeah, they're going to stream this weekend, actually, I think 2 different tournaments, and they're going to combine them. I know one of them is the Germany like national champions or the European national championships, whatever it's going to be called. And the other, it completely slips my mind because why would I know anything about Pokemon if I was going to be here tonight? Right. But it's worth the watch.
Some more video game national championships for Hong Kong and Taiwan. Those will be taking place in Taiwan on June 11th. And then in Hong Kong, it will be held in the I Square. I don't know what the I Square is, but it's lowercase I, all uppercase square.
Capital S?
No.
Oh, it's a square
uppercase.
that's owned by Apple.
Is it?
Yeah.
Like legit owned by Apple?
No, it's not. Apple does not own anything in China
they
or
have
the
an
other
Apple
China.
Store in China and Hong Kong specifically. No.
Well, Hong Kong's kind of like pseudo China.
Based in the Apple Store in Hong Kong. That takes place on June 9th. And the reason I'm bringing that up, if you are in the Hong Kong or Taiwan area and you want to participate, June 11th, June 9th. Also, contestants and on-site players who own the Japanese version of Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire X or Y, will be able to get a shiny Mewtwo distributed towards them, which is pretty cool. Shiny Mewtwo will be level 100. It's owned by Nintendo HK, Hong Kong. It knows Psystrike, Psychic, Recover, Aura Sphere, has the ability Unnerve, and it is holding a Mewtwo Knight Y.
So, if we have any listeners in Hong Kong, I want to know because I want to be their best friend. That would be so cool.
I think we have some listeners. If I remember looking at stats, I think there's a couple from Hong Kong. More in Japan than China, though, definitely.
Well, we always have Andrew in Japan. We always know about that. He just like has 18 iPods that he just downloads onto to give us a boost in the Japanese ratings. And I did remember they're going to be merging in some of the spring regionals because a lot of the U.S. spring regionals have shifted from from April to May. So there is some spring regionals happening this weekend that they'll be streaming along with the Germany national championships. So it's a good weekend if you want to sit home and watch Pokemon battles.
If you're anticipating Pokemon Sun and Moon, as we all are, and we're going to get to that, there's supposed to be new information coming about Pokemon Sun and Moon. On June 2nd is what I heard. The Pokemon Company, I hit the wrong button. The Pokemon Company revealed on its official Twitter that the next batch of Pokemon Sun and Moon information will arrive on June 2nd. The only information we've gotten up to this point was the stuff based on Korokora, which also came with the teaser trailer that we got. And then Korokora had, I think, its own trailer that was like slightly different.
Well, what it was like in the Japanese commercial, which had the live action little boy, there were snippets of Sun and Moon. So then what they did was they took the US or the English trailer, whatever you want to call it, added one little bit in the front where the main character is like running out of a house and turning a corner, and then it put in the full US trailer so that basically the Japanese would have what we had previously had on the same day. But they also goofed, and there was a Pokemon that has not been announced that was in that little snippet.
See, I don't think they
people weren't going to notice.
I feel like Pokemon purposely does things like that.
Oh yes, because everybody was talking about it, and they're like, it's a dog with a lei, and I'm like, where do you see a lei on that thing? It's like a fluffy tail.
It did look like a dog. I don't know what kind of dog, but yeah, I don't think that was a goof or anything. I think that was intentional to get people to watch that video and like boost social media and stuff like that. I think that was all intentional. And if you might have missed Zygarde by now, you've probably missed Xerneas. Actually, I think I can't remember if I downloaded Xerneas or not. I think I did. Xerneas is
I got 3 of them. Yeah.
Is available between May 11th through May 17th. Today is May 19th, 18th?
Yes, it is, sir. Today's the 19th.
Starting tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow.
Yes.
You will be able to get a shiny Yveltal, the one that looks like bacon, from May 20th to May 28th via mystery gift. Also, Darkrai is still available at GameStop if they still have the... I have a code right here. See, this is something that like is exclusive to people watching live. They can see me hold up a card. I know the audio listeners are very upset. I didn't scratch it off, by the way. You can't. I have yet to redeem it, but get your Darkrai. Darkrai. Get your Darkrai. Get your shiny bacon tomorrow, and everything will be good.
It's not a shiny bacon. It's a beautiful, glorious bird of destruction. You're just diminishing it, and it's going to Oblivion Wing you into oblivion, which is what Oblivion Wing does.
Possibly. Let's talk about the big Sun and Moon rumor that happened.
That it's all going to be based on Mozart's The Magic Flute?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you had heard that too, because I thought my source was a little dubious, but...
So, we have Rowlett, we have Litten, we have Popplio, Popplio, Popo the Popplio.
Popplio?
I'm holding out for official verification on that.
Each one of those is one of the child spirits that leads Tamino into Sarastro's lair. Right? Obviously.
Sure. Yeah.
And the Queen of the Night is the bat Pokemon, and Sarastro is the sun lion, right? That's what we're getting to, right?
You lost me. Yep.
Well, you have to listen to the Magic Flute, and then you'll understand what the next game is going to be. I think it's written on like it's like Die Zauberflot or something. I can't speak German, but
You lost me like 65 seconds ago.
have you never listened to the Magic Flute?
No.
It is one of Mozart's greatest operas. It's all about the Freemasons and Pokemon.
Perfect. Okay.
Yes.
Great.
I recommend everybody listen to
Let's-
it, especially
all right.
the Queen of the Night's aria. It's beautiful.
Transition into Rowlett being flying grass flying. And or is it flying grass? I think it's grass flying.
Grass flying.
Grass flying. Not that it doesn't even matter. Litten being fire, Popplio being water. So Pokemon fans have me being one of them, have a huge fascination in wanting to know
Debatable.
what the starters' final evolutions are and what their types are. And we've gotten how many Pokemon now? Three firefighting, 2 firefighting, Infernape, Blaziken,
Infernape, Blaziken,
Emboar.
and Embor. Because Typhlosion was not, and
Charizard.
obviously Charizard is not.
Typhlosion. We're missing one.
Fennekin.
Oh, Fennekin. He's psychic.
What does he get into?
Fire
Big
psychic. The
Foxy
Delphox.
dude?
The Delphox.
Delphox.
So if you go to the Pokemon.jp, Pokemon.co.jp, I don't know how their websites work. You see Rowlett, Litten, Popplio. You see the Japanese page, you see the little pictures and everything. And if I like how this article says, like, using Google Chrome. First off, you can use any web browser. It doesn't matter. All you have to do. This is what we're getting to.
No. Opera does not have reveal codes diagnostic mode. Sorry.
I'm pretty sure it does. I don't think it's
I
as
haven't used Opera in years.
I don't think it's as good. I think Safari has the best, but that's besides the point.
Netscape Navigator.
Yes, the old Netscape. All right, so if you right click or whatever click and you do inspect on the type, so for example, I'll use Litten. If you right click on the fire type, which is a red square that has Japanese in it that says fire, we don't need to know the Japanese. We just know red equals fire, green equals grass. Colors. If you right click on it and inspect it, you can see where the image is hosted. All images are hosted somewhere. All images have a name. In this case, that name was Icon 4. So if we inspect, and you guys can do this right now if you know how to use the inspector in a web browser. Like I said, you can use Safari, you can use Google Chrome. I'm sure Internet Explorer has some type of inspector. You go to the Japanese website, inspect the typing. So Rowlett, if you inspect the grass, it's Icon 1. If you inspect the flying, it's Icon 2. Litten, Icon 4 is fire. And then for Popplio, Icon 5 is water. So right away you go, what happened to Icon 3? We're going 1, 2, 4, 5. So if you go in your web browser and you just change that number to 3, you get ground type. And if you change that icon to 6, you get fighting type. And so now you have 6 types: grass, flying, ground, fire, water, fighting in a particular order. 2 are hidden but are there. They're hosted somewhere. And if you type in icon 7, you don't get anything. You type in icon 0, you don't get anything. But we know now there are 6 types. And obviously speculation. But I think it's safe to say that these 6 types are going to line up with the final evolutions of your starter Pokemon.
I agree completely. There's no debate left there. It's not an error. It's kind of like just the convenience of doing web layout, and you have thousands and thousands of assets. So you publish as much as possible up front, hide what you need to hide, and then it's much easier to just reveal a hidden asset than to republish an entire page. Think about like also like caching and probably the number of load balance delivery servers that they have to support just so that their site never goes down. That publishing an entire new page with the TTLs, whatever that they have to manage on. Oh wow, it's turned into tech talk again. I'm just saying.
Bring it back to tech talk.
They probably, since you actually are a web front end developer, you might have a little better insight. I mean, I've done web management of like the server backends and from development through delivery and having satellite delivery servers for load balancing. But just to simplify the design, you publish the assets, and then you can just reveal whatever assets rather than having to republish the entire page.
Yeah. Or some of the time you're told to do the said project, and then last minute they go, oh, actually we're only doing the starters, like the other 6 Pokemon, like take those off the website. And so instead of taking them off the website, you just hide them because it's way more work to take them off and then to put them back on. It's way easier to hide them. So now to get to the specific types. So Rowlett starts grass flying, and Litten starts fire, Popplio starts water. We all know this. But if you look at the icons, 1 and 2 are grass flying, 3 is ground, 4 is fire, 5 is water, and 6 is fighting. What I think is weird is if the web developer did their job right, and if it was to make sense, why wouldn't fire be icon 3 and ground be icon 4? I think that's weird. I am confident, absolutely confident in saying that Popplio is definitely going to be water fighting.
Yes.
That 5 and 6
Agreed.
line up perfectly at the end. The 3 and 4, the switch of ground and fire throws me off a bit. And it either comes to 2 things. Either Litten is going to be fire ground, which would be cool, I think. And I didn't get a chance to look this up. I didn't see if water fighting was like 4 times effective against fire ground, and if flying grass was 4 times effective against water fighting, and if ground fire was 4 times like if that pattern made sense. And I'm not sure, because I forgot to look it up before the show.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure. Wow, I'm going to be so ashamed if I'm wrong and I say this, but I'm pretty sure that ground is effective against fighting, just because it makes it difficult to stand. But maybe it's just regular effective.
Yeah.
I have an internet.
Will just went silent.
Will put himself on mute so
okay.
he can look up whether ground is super effective. Could you vamp a little bit?
Yeah.
While I don't want to make keyboard
vamp.
sounds.
I'll vamp. So the other, so Litten could be fire ground, as ground is icon 3, fire is icon 4. That lines up, except it's backwards. To me, it's backwards. Or Rowlett will lose one of its typings, obviously probably flying, because you can't, I can't imagine you would lose the grass typing. That makes 0 sense. So Rowlett loses the flying and becomes grass ground. And that is also a possibility if that's the case, which makes sense with that makes sense with the icon numbers of 1, 2, 3, and why fire starts at 4 and not 3. If Rowlett is ground, then we know for sure that Litten will be fire only. I mean, all this really does is I believe that these 6 types are the final types, but all this does is verify that, there's not going to be a dark, there's not going to be a psychic, there's no steel, there's no ice. Like, all those other types have been eliminated at this point.
And this Sin fighting is not weak to ground. It's just regular effective.
Okay.
So no triangle there.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if there was going to be some sort of triangle, but worth a... Is Greninja water dark, or is it just water?
Is Greninja... No, wait. Well, yes, Greninja's Water Dark. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh huh.
Because that was a
So
triangle. That was
if
psychic fighting dark.
yes, and if they had wanted to make it a triangle this way, they would have done flying, fighting, rock, because fighting is strong against rock, rock is strong against flying, flying is strong against fighting.
Got it. Cool. Well, yeah. So take that for what it's worth. I mean, I think it's easy to say that Popplio will be water fighting. We haven't seen a water fighting. I think that's cool. I think the only other water fighting is Poliwrath. I don't think anything.
That is incorrect. Keldeo.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. Keldeo doesn't count though.
Yes, he does.
Keldeo is
It does.
mythical. I feel like mythical Pokemon and legendaries they're in their own. They're in their own world. They do.
Um,
They do their own thing. They got their own jam.
what was I can't. I was gonna say something, but it's completely slipped my mind. You just knocked it out there with your Keldeo hate.
Yeah, because they're in their own zone. They're in the O zone. You got nothing?
Nothing.
All
I
right.
just
Perfect.
completely lost it.
The other, I thought I had one more bit of news. Oh, yeah. So there was, last bit of news. It's not that exciting. Don't get your hopes up here. Amazon published some stuff about Pokemon Sun and Moon because obviously you can pre-order those games on Amazon. The bullet points, the selling points for Sun and Moon stated that there will be multiple islands in the game. And for some reason that took off on Twitter. Spoiler, Hawaii has multiple islands.
Can you name them?
No, I don't think I can name one island in Hawaii. Is the big
Yes, you
one called
can.
Hawaii?
Yes.
All right.
The Big Island, its official name is Hawaii. There's Lanai, Molokai, Oahu. Oh, wow.
How
Take
many
me back to elementary
how many
school.
are there? How many islands are there?
Kauai. So those are the main ones. There's also little ones like Niihau and just a lot of little tinier ones. But the main, uh, it's Hawaii, Lanai, Molokai, Oahu, and Kauai. I think are the main ones that people would be concerned with. So you're going to have at least five.
5 big ones. And you said there are little ones?
There's a lot of smaller because it's like the Hawaiian Island chain. Because right, the way that Hawaii is, why Hawaii exists is because, like where the Big Island is, right. Of course, I'm doing this for our viewers. Where the Big Island is now, it's an active volcano, right? So that volcano is actually it's just been one volcano, but like as plate tectonics shift, it like stops making this island volcano and it's like shifts and it starts making this one. So the older ones get smaller and smaller as they erode from the ocean over time, and that's why the Big Island's really really big, and then all the other ones that have dormant volcanoes on them are smaller and smaller. And it's kind of like the whole is over this active volcano part, and then as it shifts over time, it's not on the active part, so then it's just an island. And yeah, so there's like this string of islands that form the Hawaiian island chain. There's your geology lesson for the day.
How you lived in Hawaii for how long?
This is why I am so pumped for Sun and Moon, dude. Yes, I lived in Hawaii for 5 years.
5 years. What
Yes,
what was the age range?
From when I was 5 years old to when I was 10 years old.
Okay.
So I basically went to elementary school in Hawaii.
Did well, I almost lost the question.
Did I worship the volcano goddess Pele? Yes, of course I did.
How many of the islands did you go to?
That's the funny story. Only one. I only was ever on Oahu. Never visited any of the. When I went back in 1998, I took a flight over to the Big Island so that I could hike in Volcanoes National Park. But when I was a little kid, I was only ever on Oahu.
So you weren't on Hawaii?
I was not on the Big Island. No, not as a kid.
How big is Oahu to?
Oahu is like medium sized, but that's where Honolulu and Waikiki is. So that's where the state government is on Oahu. Honolulu is the biggest city in Hawaii. The Big Island does not have the biggest city because it has an active volcano that's tearing stuff up all the time. So it's kind of hard to build a big city on that.
Wait, an active volcano?
Yes,
Like still active?
Kilauea is spewing lava as we speak. Yes, it is still an active volcano.
They haven't. What if it goes off? Like, what if?
Yeah, they literally, like, within the past 10 years, people have lost their houses to Kilauea. It's like there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, there's absolutely don't live there.
Well, I mean, you could say the same for Seattle, right?
There was there an active...
Have you ever heard of a place called Mount St. Helens? Oh, wow.
No, I have heard of Mount. First of all, I've heard of Mount. I thought that volcano was no longer active, though.
Yeah, so did everybody in 1980 when it went off and killed a bunch of people.
Can't you like just drop like some ice cubes in a volcano, like chill it out?
That is not how volcanoes work.
Like,
did you not know that there's
like that Dr. Mentos?
Why how's about some Dr. Pepper, some cool, refreshing Dr. Pepper?
23 flavors of refreshment will chill that volcano out.
That is not how volcanoes work. What are you? Is that Dr. Pepper you're drinking?
Yeah.
That's like a Batman one. Batman versus Superman. No, but this is how bad volcanoes are. That some people have proposed as a solution to the world's garbage crisis, wherein there is garbage, that is just not like plastic garbage that is not decaying rapidly enough into the component parts, whatever, that they're saying
styrofoam.
To dump. Well, styrofoam is a form of plastic thing. What is it called? Petroleum products. Anyways, they want to take those and like dump them into a volcano because the magma and the heat is so hot that it's just going to naturally break that stuff down in a non-polluting way because it, well, I mean, volcanoes pollute naturally on their own. They're spewing all kinds of gases left and right.
You better believe it.
But they're highly destructive, and it's kind of like nature's reformatory for materials.
So, active volcano in Hawaii. I like how this came from like tech talk to Pokemon talk to now like geology.
All right. Okay, let me give you one more bit of knowledge, a little bit of science I'll drop on you.
Oh, I have questions galore here.
Well, let me just say, so Greg, who's your game master for Dungeons and Dragons, right? Yeah. And it's his birthday today, so we should say happy birthday to Greg, even though I don't know if he's with us.
He hasn't died.
I mean, tonight in this gathering of Pokemon fans. So he recently went to Hawaii for his honeymoon, like 2 months ago. Mm-hmm. And when he went, I told him, "Oh, you have to hike the Halemauma Trail, which goes across the caldera of like not the current active Kilauea, but the older active Kilauea, which is amazing because it's like
wait. There are dose Kilaueas.
No, remember the hole keeps shifting over, and it's so this is like the most recent non-active part of it. But the way Halemauma works is you go down like literally like you're walking into a volcano, and then you walk across what used to be the part that was blowing up and everything. But it's like walking on the moon. Like there's no plants there, and it's like just the most amazing thing. Anyways, when he was there, he couldn't do it because it started like throwing up lava again. What? So it's too dangerous. It's
well, that kind of answered my question. I was going to ask, like, so the current active volcano, which what island is that near?
The Big Island. No, it is the Big Island is active.
Okay, Hawaii.
Yes.
The Big H. So if I go to the Big H, can I request like to walk near active volcano? Or is that
Okay,
like
so
off limits? No volcano walking for you.
no, the way it works is, and I mean, you put this in your brain. Uh, there used to be a road that went along the coast that has lava that over it. So what you can do is you can take that road as far as is left and get out of your car, and then you can see it's actually off safe in the distance. You don't want to walk up to active lava. That's just bad news. But you can actually see the lava flowing like out of the side of the whatever edge of the volcano and into the ocean. And then you see this like big plume of steam coming up from the ocean where the lava is falling into the ocean and turning into rock because the ocean is it's like Kyogre is throwing that cold water and Groudon's like I got the lavas and then it's like steam.
I mean, isn't Heatran the Pokemon of volcanoes?
I mean, yeah, he lives in the volcano, but like Groudon is like the magma coming up, like that formation of the land.
I feel you.
But yes, if you go to the Big Island, if you go to Volcanoes National Park, you can drive up, get out of your car, and literally see lava. You go like it's really nice to go at dusk because then you can see like the glow of the lava, but you know it's still a dangerous place. But dude, I am like all on
Perfect.
throughout this whole Sun and Moon launch. I am your source for Hawaii facts and history because like while you were learning like the history of Wisconsin in elementary school, not that MPS helped you out that way.
No, it did not.
But like literally like in my elementary school, I was learning all about Hawaii history and you know, it's all about like the Kamehameha and like how he brought the islands together and all of the other like but like when you guys learned fairy tales I learned Hawaiian stories and cultural stories about like all their different stuff. So when I see like Pokemon that are going to be about that stuff I'm just going to let everybody know.
Cool. Well, that's good to know. That's exciting. The good old Hawaii.
I bet. Okay, so here's something I will put money on that there will be a Nene Pokemon, and I don't mean Nene like the dance.
What is a Nene?
A Nene is there was a flock of Canadian, or they're actually called Canada geese. There's a flock of Canada geese that they say got blown off course in their migration, and they ended up in the Hawaiian Islands. So they are descendants of Canada geese, but they're geese that live in Hawaii. So they've adapted over time and evolved. So they're just a special geese that only exists in Hawaii, and they're revered by the Hawaiian people. They're known as the Nene. So there will be a Nene Pokemon. I guarantee it.
I like this conversation. What are there woodpeckers in Hawaii?
There may be.
Because remember that woodpecker-ish Pokemon they showed?
Yeah. I don't recall one, but I mean, there's lots of flowers, dude. Lots of flowers.
Are there any other animal-specific Hawaii Pokemon? I'm putting you on the spot.
The other thing that I would think of is the mongoose. Mongoose are very much identified with Hawaii. So there used to be a what is the story? I want to say it was snakes. No, it was not snakes. I'll have to look it up for another time. But there was some kind of vermin that was a problem in Hawaii, or was considered to be a problem in Hawaii. So they brought mongoose, which are kind of like ferrets, to Hawaii to root them out. But what they found out was like one of them was nocturnal and the other was diurnal. So they never actually interacted, and it didn't solve the vermin problem. But then, you know, the Hawaiian Islands got overrun with mongoose. I think it's just mongooses, which are kind of like Lanoons. So we're going to see a lot of repeat Pokemon.
Well, there's Zangoose, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a Pokemon. And Seviper. I think that's a cool combo. I like complementary Pokemon.
Yeah, but I think
Speaking,
when I was like a little kid, there was a TV character called Willy Willy Mongoose that was very popular in the 70s.
I don't know about that. Speaking of Pokemon, there's a transition here somewhere. I'm thinking about it. Let's move on to our Pokemon of the week. This week's Pokemon of the week is Glammeow. Glammeow.
Well, my cat doesn't go meow. My cat goes mew, so I just say glam mew.
The main reason we're doing this Pokemon is mostly because of Litten really stealing the cat popularity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess Esper did that too at one point. But let me read.
Well, with you.
Well, I mean, Esper and Meowstic are pretty great. Let's see. Glammeow tends to be spiteful and fickle, having a tendency to hook its claws into the nose of its trainer if it's not fed. When it's happy, it demonstrates movement with its tail like a dancing ribbon. As it has a domesticated quality, it tends to appear in urban areas. So for your Pokemon Go people, if you live in a big city, possible Glammeow coming, but I think Will has moveset.
Yeah, no, I don't. Here, let's grab one. I mean, because it's not a final evolution. It's the pre-evolution of Perugly. So, what are you gonna do with that?
I mean,
well, it learns some fairy type moves.
What are your thoughts on Perugly?
I think it's ugly. It
mean,
purrs.
That Perugly is definitely not my type of cat. I've expressed that before.
My type of cat. What does that even mean?
I mean, just like not my jam.
So, who used Peruglies as their main?
David.
No, I meant like Team Galactic or something like that.
Did Team Galactic use Perugly? That sounds like a Pokemon they would use.
I can't remember because it was like a while ago.
I think the weird thing about Glammeow, I keep wanting to say Meowstic. Fun fact about Glammeow, it's 25% male, 75% female. I think
Correct.
I think Glammeow suffers from illustrations just like Popplio does. I don't think it like I think like when you see shots of Glammeow in the anime or just like anime stills, it looks like a cute cat. But like if you look at the standard default Bulbapedia picture, you're just like, that cat is stuck up. I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you scroll down on the Bulbapedia page and you look at the one of Glammeow in the anime, it looks like a cute cat. And I think like people a lot of times people will look at the final evolution and it kind of like taints what's below it, I feel. Like remember how much Chespin was loved and then people saw Chestnut and all of a sudden people like jumped Chespin ship. They were like, I'm out. No. Even though I think Chestnut's cool.
That's why I love Cyndaquil and I don't really care that much for Typhlosion. Not that I don't hate Typhlosion, but it's also why I have a level 100 Chespin. So, I mean, I can't say much about what you're going to do with your Glammeow, except, brush it and enjoy it in Pokemon showcases or anything like that. The one thing I would say is let it go up to level 50 before you allow it to evolve into Perugly, because it learns Play Rough at level 50, and Play Rough has one of the best animations of any move.
And it's sweet sounding, Play Rough.
Play rough. It's a fairy type move, but it's like you jump on to the other guy, and then it just makes this like bongo sound, like duk, 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 and you see like smoke and things flying. It's like such a great animation. My Mega Mawile has that because it's a stab move, and it's just I love using that in competitive play just to hear the little bongos and then see
we need to get that animation. We need to get that sound on the show, the bongos.
And it's not even a bongo sound. I'm like, if Nick
like,
Burgess was here, he'd like totally correct me because it's like kind of like a clicky.
No, like I know I've heard it. I like it. I can't like remember it exactly, but it's like at the tip of my tongue of like how it goes.
Like a coconut. That's what it is. Like a coconut.
Yeah. Like shaking, like almost not like a maraca, but like more like more thumpy.
A deeper clunk than a maraca would give you.
Right. There's no trivia about Glameow. The only thing is Glameow is based on a domestic cat, like the most generic. Like, give me what type of cat. Like, I know Perugly is based on a certain type of cat. I just don't know what that type is, and I could click over there.
Yeah, there's no such thing as cat breeds. Stop deluding yourself. Cats are not dogs.
Oh, let me tell you about breeds. Glameow is a combination of glamour and or glamorous and meow. And if you get a shiny one, so Glameow is more of I would say a bluish gray.
Yes.
If you get a shiny one, you're gonna get like a pinkish purple out of that, which is not the ugly green.
Yes, it is saved from that. It actually, the color looks kind of like a Lipard or a Purloin.
Yeah, I would say Glameow is cuter than Purloin.
Oh, just because it's thinner. Dude, don't weight shame people.
No, I would say it's more of like it's like snout. Whatever the snout is better than Purloin.
The nosy part?
Yeah.
Debatable. And I think you lost that debate.
All right. Lipard and Purloin never really like. I wanted to like them as cats, but they're definitely no Esper or Meowstic.
Whatever.
That's true.
Take your anthropomorphized cats.
That's true. Well.
Oh my god. Purloin is such a better Pokemon. Wow.
I don't think so. I remember X and Y specifically because I caught a Purloin right away and I like went through it and I just wasn't feeling it.
Well, you're
also,
the cat expert,
isn't
right?
it dark only? Dark.
Yes.
Is it normal dark?
Mono dark type. Yes.
All right. Just checking. Just checking. All right. Well, that's all right. Let's wrap things up.
That's your part.
That's my part. Oh, real quick, we were gonna do item of the week, but we're running out of time here. I will say that there are new items in the store.
New items and new reviews.
Yes, new items and new. We were gonna refry or
refry our beans. We're gonna refry our beans.
This is why we don't do these live because I just mess up everything. There are new items in the Pokemon Center store. There is like a new hoodie. There's a bunch of new Pikachu stuff. There's all the 20th anniversary stuff. We were gonna do an item of the week. Running out of time, so we'll save that for next week. We also have a bunch of emails that
place for selling things.
Yes, and if you've ever been to any kind of convention, there are people selling like bootleg Pokemon plushes and imported plushes, and Pokemon plushes do very well at conventions. They do.
As do Funko Pops and
pop figures.
I hate those things. I just don't.
Yeah, so if you missed the earlier part of the podcast or the live stream, it will be in podcast form on iTunes. Otherwise, we'll be back with we're still doing weekly podcasts. and whatnot. What's going to happen is this is going to be published on Sunday night, as do normal podcasts, and then hopefully we can get back to technically it's been a regular schedule. We've just been recording them early. So we'll have Travis back next week, I hope. I believe they will be back in Michigan by then. But otherwise, you can follow Will at Watching the Sink. You can follow me at Dragging a Lake. You can follow the podcast at Pokemon Podcast. And this has been another episode of the Pokemon Podcast. And we are
Super Purloins.
Meow. I thought you were going to say Volcano, but there we go.
Wow. Now that's later. That's later. Once we get Solgaleo or whatever, then I'll be going Volcano on you.
Perfect. I'm going to put it over to standby now.